going on? I'm Josh Paul, and you're watching forbassplayersonly.com.
Hi everyone, Jon Liebman here. You're watching forbassplayersonly.com. Today we are on location in the brand new Warwick showroom, Nashville, Tennessee, Summer NAMM 2015 with our special guest, Josh Paul. How you doing, Josh?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
Doing great. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you since we hung out together at the Warwick base camp in Neukirchen, Germany.
I'm glad you can say it, but I know that I had an amazing time. That was fantastic.
It was great. It always is. Well, let's talk about you. You've got an interesting background. You've done a lot of stuff. Let's start from the beginning. You are from L.A., right?
Los Angeles, California.
Tell me about your musical upbringing.
Let's see. We got to go way, way back. My parents were both musicians, gospel musicians. My grandfather basically played every instrument that there is. So around my house, it was always music. Dusk till dawn. It was just nonstop. So actually when I went to kindergarten, I thought that everybody played. So, you know, other little kids are wanting to play with their bikes or Legos and stuff like that, and I'm playing drums. So it was kind of weird for me to see. And I'm just like, oh, what do you play? The kids are like, Legos! Leave me alone! But so I started playing drums. I played with my grandfather in his Dixieland band, and we did a bunch of gigs. I was only 5 years old at the time, 6 years old. I can keep a beat, learning. So,
when you were about 7, you got a pretty cool gig as a drummer. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Tell these folks.
Okay, drum roll. I was the little drummer boy in Don Henley's Boys of Summer video.
I watched that the other day, and you were right on the beat. I was very impressed.
I was trying, and I had this habit of sticking out my tongue. I still do it when I concentrate. So they kept telling me, no. The director, I think, was French, so he was, just what, no, keep your tongue in your mouth. So it was, anyway.
Okay.
So that's why I was so focused on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, how did you gravitate to the bass?
Moved into an apartment building. So they don't like drums in apartment buildings, but my grandfather played bass as well, so he had an electric and an upright, so he gave me his, and I just started playing to different funk records, and Flea was a big influence on me, and my mom got me a Jaco Pastorius video, the instructional videos, so just learning about
the one with Jerry Jamont.
Yeah. So basically tried to mimic a lot of that. I switched over when I was about 12 to bass, and then just here we are.
Well, how did your career get rolling? At what kinds of gigs were you doing initially when you first started working as a working musician?
Well, my first gig was Suicidal Tendencies and Infectious Grooves, and I was 17 or 18 years old.
How did you get that gig?
I was playing around L.A., and I grew up in Venice, so I knew this drummer, Brooks Wackerman, who was playing with them at the time. And we kind of grew up playing together in different places and different bands. And when Robert left to play with Ozzy, they needed a bass player, so he called me.
Okay, and you kind of have been following Robert. When he leaves a band, you sort of fill that vacancy. Is that a coincidence, or what's up with that?
I'm trying to just make that happen in every band that he goes to. I'm just there next in line. No, I think it's just a coincidence. I mean, he was a big influence as well. Me growing up in Venice, too, and
right.
Aside from being a great player, he's a great guy.
Yes, he is. We've interviewed him a couple of times, and we did a special Jaco Pastorius feature on For Bass Players Only.
Awesome.
Actually, we did it at Warwick is where I did the interview. Cool. So great guy, hearing all about that film that he worked so hard on, and got so many great people to talk about Jaco.
He's very passionate about that.
Yes, he is.
So.
Well, tell me about your equipment. I mean, we're sitting here in Warwick.
Let's find it. Let's see. I have a few of the star basses, which I love. Oh, yeah. So fat sounding, especially for a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now, which is with Daughtry. And the Streamer CV, they sound awesome. And that's what I'm with.
There's so many basses that you could play. What is so special about Warwick? What's the attraction there?
Well, aside from the just amazing craftsmanship and care that goes into making them, the family vibe here is, you can't touch it. It's ridiculous. Hans Peter and the whole family here.
Hans Peter Wilford.
Yeah. Everybody's just sort of taking me in, you know, with wide open arms, and it is like a family affair.
It is. He's got his wife and his kids working in the business too.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing with all those great instruments? Tell me about Daughtry and whatever else is keeping you busy these days.
Well, I've been doing Daughtry for the last 9 or 10 years, so we've been putting out records and doing pretty well. We're just doing some one-offs right now, strings of shows until we start this next record. But touring almost nonstop, and just keeping on.
You've been to some interesting places lately?
Let's see. I went to a few interesting casinos. I'm not going to name the names, but
okay.
I've been there recently to do some shows that were awesome. But we've been off a little bit, just taking a bit of a break aside from these one-offs. So
yeah, okay. Well, how about the future, Josh? You're still a young guy. You obviously have a lot of energy, and I can tell you still have a lot of notes left in you. What about the future? What else would you like to do that you haven't gotten around to yet?
I put out my own EP with my band called Bobby Church. I guess last year and a half ago, which is sort of a pet project, and with some of my good friends. And I actually want to do a bass video and sort of a record, maybe called Friends and Family or something like that, of just some of my friends that I've gotten to know through different bands and all this, and call it the art of improvisation. Nothing set, just have each person come in and we just jam out 3, 5, 6 minutes and just put it out.
Okay, well, we'll watch for that. You be sure to keep us noticed. Keep us posted.
I will. And we're going to be doing the next Daughtry record, and I'm songwriting, and I'm actually thinking about moving here to Nashville. So, you know, got a family, working,
yes,
happy.
Understood. Well, last question, Josh. What would you be if you were not a bass player? I mean, you can't say a drummer or a guitar player. I mean, something outside of music.
Wow. I've been doing this my entire life, so I know how to be a dad.
Okay.
Know how to be a husband. It would have to be something creative, maybe get into some publishing or something like that. I like to write as well.
What kind of stuff do you like to write?
Just stories and fiction. So we'll see.
Okay, it's interesting what we find out about people that most of us don't know.
Yeah.
It's great getting to know you, Josh. Great. Thanks very much, and keep us posted on those projects. Good luck with Daughtry and everything else.
Thank you.
You're welcome. On location at the brand new Warwick showroom, Nashville, Tennessee. I'm Jon Liebman. You're watching 4BassPlayersOnly.com.